Hi and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. You know, with Labor Day around the corner, I hope you stick around for an important beach safety discussion with our very own Community Information Director, Dave Byron, and his guest, Beach Safety Captain Tammy Maris. Then find out what's up, literally, at the Daytona Beach International Airport. Not only that, but we have updates on Volusia County's Pet Vet Cruiser and the latest turtle nesting season stats. Those segments, news, and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. Did you know the east coast of Florida is one of just 2 major nesting sites in the world for the loggerhead sea turtle? Our beaches provide an important nesting habitat which helps ensure the continued existence of the loggerhead. Green and leatherback sea turtle nests also are found here, although they're not as common as loggerhead nests. Jennifer Winters, Conservation Plan Manager for Volusia County, says this year is a much higher nesting season than the years prior.
This year's nesting season is so far our second highest nesting year on record. Last year in 2012 we had over 919 sea turtle nests, and this year we're up to 650. So these numbers are great, and we think it has a lot to do with all of the recovery efforts for sea turtles that have been in place over the years. A lot of the protection efforts may now be coming back and into play and showing us that we're protecting sea turtles, and more are beginning to nest.
The number of nests on the beach is expected to increase slightly more through September. Hatching is expected within 46 to 70 days of incubation.
From now through the end of October, what will happen is we'll start having new nests being laid less and less as we get into September, and then nesting will stop completely. And then through October, and sometimes even as late as some months or some weeks in November, all of our nests that are existing will be hatching.
Continued survival of these species depends on all beach guests and beachfront property owners to do what they can to protect the beach habitat. When leaving the beach, make sure to take all of your beach equipment, flatten your sandcastles, and fill in those holes. These can pose as obstacles to nesting turtles and hatchlings emerging from their nests. Residents and visitors to Volusia County's beaches should continue to observe lighting restrictions to ensure sea turtle hatchlings safely reach the water. Restrictions include shielding exterior lights and closing blinds or curtains to reduce the amount of light reaching the beach. This artificial light disorients baby sea turtles and reduces their chance of survival. Further, beach walkers should cover their flashlights with red film or use a red LED light to be less disruptive to hatchlings who are trying to reach the water's edge. For more information, log on to volusia.org. Since 2007, Volusia County's Pet Vet Cruiser team has spayed or neutered 13,628 animals. The Volusia County Council launched this service to reduce the number of animals picked up and euthanized, and to help people who otherwise would not be able to afford to have their pets sterilized. Fees are based on income and have a sliding fee scale. Interim Director Sergio Pacheco said the Pet Vet Cruiser has been a success.
Since 2007, when County Council initiated the program, has reduced the amount of animals that are being brought into the animal shelters, which is a savings for taxpayers.
The Pet Vet Cruiser makes regular stops in DeLand, Orange City, New Smyrna Beach, and Ormond Beach.
Now, the benefits of getting your animal spayed and neutered. Number 1, dog or cat can live a longer and healthier life, which is great for the pet owners. Number 2, it can greatly reduce the aggression of the animal, and it can also reduce certain types of cancers that your animal can contract.
For more information about the Pet Vet Cruiser and to see an upcoming schedule of stops, you can visit volusia.org/animal control. Passenger traffic at Daytona Beach International Airport continues on an upward trend. During July, the airport recorded a 2% increase compared with July of 2012. During the month, 52,616 passengers flew in or out of the county-operated airport, compared with 51,478 passengers in July of 2012. For the 12 months ending July 31st, total passenger traffic at Daytona Beach International Airport also increased 2%, from 580,813 passengers last year to 593,044 passengers this year. Steve Cook, the airport's business development manager, said the traffic increase in July represents a stable operating environment which continues to be characterized by strong passenger loads and competitive fares.
Well, we're up to about 593,000 passengers per year, and so that's been a steady increase. Over the last 5 months, we've been consistent in that. We've only had a few months, in the last 45 months, where it's gone down, so it's been a very consistent trend. We do think we're going to be over 600,000 passengers through the end of the year, which we haven't seen for a long, long time, and hopefully that trend is going to continue.
During July, Delta Airlines and U.S. Airways had an average passenger load of 88% of the available seats filled.
Jet fuel is a component, huge component of air travel. It makes up about a third to a half of all the operating costs of airlines. So when that price comes down, it makes it more easy to fly. It affects fares in the right direction, and so it's a good thing. So we hope that trend continues with fuel moving downward, or at least not going upward. And check us with our competitors, and often you'll get the best fare at Daytona Beach International Airport.
For more information about flights in and out of Daytona Beach International Airport, you can visit flydaytonafirst.com.
Hi, I'm Deb Denny's with the Volusia County Council, urging you to be a driving force for the arts. If you renew your vehicle registration and request a state-of-the-art specialty plate, $20 of the fee goes directly to support cultural programs right here in Volusia County. In recent years, license plate revenues have been used to restore artwork in the historic courthouse, host numerous public programs and workshops, and market the arts. Putting one of these plates on your vehicle shows your commitment to the arts and lets others know that Florida really is a state of the arts.
For the fourth time in 3 years, a group of mechanical engineering students at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University have put their book knowledge to a practical and very humanitarian use to help children living in an orphanage in Haiti. Here's Joanne Magley with this week's Volusia Here and Now report.
While many college students took a break from the books this summer, some mechanical engineering students at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University kept their brains busy building another water purification system for an orphanage in Haiti. The students meet on their own time to design and build the systems. Young Juan has been the project leader from the beginning.
This is our fourth installment of Project Haiti. This year we're going to the Ryan Epps Home for Children. They have roughly 200 children there, going to school and living there.
Previously, the students designed and built 2 other solar power water filtration systems, as well as portable backpack systems that were designed specifically for disaster relief. By building then installing the purification systems, the students are providing the orphanage a means for clean water for years to come. Graduate student Shavin Pinto explains how the system works.
We first pump the water up from a 150 feet deep well, and the water passes through the first stage of filtration, which is a disc filter that gets rid of large sediments out of the water. Then it goes to the membrane filter, the 0.1 micron membrane filter that removes all types of bacteria and most viruses. And then the third stage is a UV filter, and that filter deactivates the DNA of the remaining viruses, and the water that exits the purifier exceeds the standard set by the EPA and the NSF for clean drinking water.
And with each year's project, the team continues to enhance the systems.
Every year we've done this, we've gotten smarter. Our systems have gotten bigger, more efficient, and our project goals have become more developed through that time.
The project goals this year included using longer-lasting filters and making the system easy to operate so the Haitians in the area can operate it on a daily basis.
For the membrane filter, we've designed a backflush system where we use some of the purified water and we reverse the direction of flow through the filter and we flush out all of the dirt. So it's a cleaning mechanism for the filter, and by doing so, we're able to extend the life of that filter by 4 to 7 years. So the maintenance cost of the system is fairly low.
Maintenance includes replacing the UV filter about once a year, and the Embry-Riddle students also came up with a business plan for that. This year's system is able to filter a lot more water, which the orphanage will sell to other members of the community.
In 2011, when we did our first story, that system operated at 4 gallons per minute. We provided water for 600 people, and it filtered 1,200 gallons of water every day. This system will be purifying water at 10 gallons per minute and providing 8,000 gallons of water to the community every day. The water in Haiti right now, they get water from different wells in the area, and the water in those wells are full of bacteria and viruses, which are terrible for human consumption. It decreases the life cycle, life expectancy.
The orphanage will be able to sell 75 gallons of extra water each day. Graduate student Alan Graham was responsible for developing the business plan and says the orphanage will use the money it makes from the extra water, about 75 American dollars a day, to buy replacement UV filters.
What we're really trying to do is just help them sustain the community, help them be independent, so that they don't have to want for what we consider basic need, clean water. So at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
For Volusia Here and Now, I'm Joanne Magley.
For more information about this project and other news from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, you can log on to daytonabeach.erau.edu. Let's join health correspondent Stephanie Strong for this report from the Volusia County Health Department.
Making sure that children of all ages receive all their vaccinations on time is one of the many important things parents can do to ensure their children's long-term health, as well as the health of friends, classmates, and others in the community.
First of all, it's required by law in order to enter school, but mostly it's to protect the children from these preventable illnesses. It also protects the community from the preventable illnesses. If enough children and adults are immunized in the community and someone comes into our community with a childhood illness, it's not likely to spread as quickly and as far if most of us are immunized against these childhood illnesses.
Vaccine-preventable diseases like pertussis can spread very quickly. Outbreaks of pertussis at middle and high schools can occur as protection from childhood vaccines fades. Another disease that can spread very easily in a school environment is measles. Measles comes into the United States from countries where the disease still circulates, including many European countries. Measles can be serious, causing hospitalization and even death.
Over the years, the most common causes of death were infectious diseases, but now it's not the most common cause of death. The most common causes of death are the chronic illnesses. So immunizations over the decades have protected many of our children and adults from disability and death from preventable childhood illnesses.
Young children are at highest risk for serious complications from measles. Making sure children stay up to date with vaccinations is the best way to make sure our communities and schools do not face outbreaks with unnecessary illnesses and deaths. For more information, please visit www.volusiahealth.com. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Stephanie Strong, Public Information Officer for the Volusia County Health Department.
If you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, you can always log on to volusiahealth.com.
The County Council is committed to building trails because they improve your quality of life. Trails offer exercise, recreation, access to nature, and alternative transportation routes. They also bring families and friends together to enjoy the outdoors. People of all ages and abilities can enjoy our trails in Volusia County. Whether you're a walker, jogger, inline skater, or bicyclist, we have a trail for you. To learn more about Volusia County's trails, visit volusia.org/trails.
And now let's head into the studio to join our very own Community Information Director, Dave Byron, and his guest, Beach Safety Captain, Tammy Maris.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Volusia Magazine today. The busy Labor Day holiday weekend is right around the corner, and that means thousands of people will flock to the beach for fun in the sun. Volusia County's Beach Safety Ocean Rescue will be out in full force, staffing the lifeguard towers and doing everything they can to keep beachgoers safe. If you're going to the beach, there are some common sense things you should do to keep you and your loved ones safe. Beach safety is our subject today with our studio guest, Beach Safety Ocean Rescue Captain, Tammy Maris. Tammy, thanks for being with us.
It's great to be here.
Tammy, the Labor Day weekend kind of closes the busy summer season, although in Florida we have summer pretty much year-round. What kind of staffing will you have for the Labor Day weekend?
We're going to be fully staffed for the holiday weekend with officers and lifeguards.
So how many towers in general do you think you try to have open on a busy holiday weekend?
Well, we hope to have probably about 50 towers open on the holiday weekend, and we're going to try to do more if we can.
You know, Tammy, hopefully, you know, the weather will be great. Usually the holiday weekend is a very, very busy time, and you know, we want to provide some just good common sense public safety things that the public should keep in mind. And I can't think of any better advice for a person going to the beach, especially if they have a family, is to swim in front of a lifeguard. That may be the biggest single thing that people can do.
Absolutely. It's the most important and basic thing that anyone can do when they come to the beach is make sure when you come to the beach you park in an area where there is an open lifeguard tower. Or if you're parking off the beach, we do have a lot of open lifeguard towers in off-beach parking areas as well.
And you know, we think of our lifeguards on the beach. Obviously, they're there to keep their eyes focused totally on the water, but they're also there to help the public and to answer questions. And if people have any concerns, they shouldn't hesitate to approach a lifeguard and ask questions that they may have.
Absolutely. When you come down on the beach, we do have beach condition signs
Right.
that tell you the beach conditions or the water conditions for the day. But it's absolutely important to go to the lifeguard and ask, you know, where they should go in the water, how far they should go in, and they're definitely there to help you.
Right.
So don't hesitate to go up to a lifeguard and ask questions.
You know, one of the prime concerns, particularly during certain types of weather, is rip currents. And the lifeguards are very experienced in being able to spot rip current activity. And again, as you just pointed out, people should not hesitate to ask, because that's a very, very important piece of information. Are there any rip currents today?
Correct. Yeah, rip currents are probably the most dangerous thing when you go to the beach.
Right.
So that is the most important thing to do. Find out where the rip currents are and make sure you're in front of an open lifeguard tower.
But if you know what to do, if you should be unfortunate and caught in a rip current, if you know what to do, you can safely get through a rip current. Tell us what people should do if they should be inadvertently caught by a rip current.
Yeah, rip current is a current that pulls you into deeper water. It doesn't
Right.
pull you under. So the first thing, don't panic.
Right.
And yell for help. If you're caught in a rip current and you can't get out, yell for help or you know, wave your hand. But the best thing to do to get out of a rip current is swim parallel to shore.
Right.
Either left or right, and try to get out of that current and then swim back into shore. But if you can't do that, float. The best thing you can do is float and do not panic.
Right. Yeah, and as we've talked many times here, it's really only a short distance, as you say, parallel to the beach, not this way or that way, but sideways, and you are out of that rip current. It's amazing how small they are, but how powerful they are.
Absolutely. I mean, it's easy to get out if you swim parallel to shore and don't panic, and you can float. Never swim alone. And you know, if you see someone caught in a rip current, don't be a victim too. Make sure you yell for help or go get a lifeguard or call 911. Don't
Right.
try to go out and rescue somebody.
Obviously, there are some areas on the beach where we allow vehicles to park on the beach. We kind of discourage you know, the back and forth traffic, you know, the cruising, if you will, but there are areas, of course, on the beach where you can park your vehicle. So if you're going to the beach in an area where there are vehicles, particularly if you have kids, particularly if they're little kids, you really have to be careful.
Absolutely. When you have kids and you go to an area of the beach where there is driving, it's extremely important to hold their hand when they're crossing the traffic lane at all times. And another easy thing you can do is set up all your belongings, your chairs, umbrellas on the east side of the traffic lane. That limits the kids wanting to go back and forth across the traffic lane to get things out of the vehicle or food or toys.
Right. And we've seen so many cases, Tammy, where you know, you go to the beach, you get in your chair, you kind of start catching some sun, and you get a little, I don't know, lazy, if you will. You know what I mean? You get half asleep, and that's where the parents really need to be vigilant. Is don't ever let your guard down.
Absolutely. I mean, you come to the beach to relax. So
Right.
that's what people do. They get in the chairs and they relax, and they get, the children are playing.
Right.
But then a child wants to get something out of the car and doesn't tell the parent, and they
Right.
cross a traffic lane. I've seen it so many times where parents don't even know, you know, where the children are on
Right.
what side of the traffic lane.
Right.
And another thing, when you're unloading and loading your vehicle is extremely important, because you get off guard, and kids just tend to go back and forth. So.
And we discourage people from parking on the side of their vehicle on the sandy side, correct? I mean, it takes up a space for people to park, and it's also very difficult to see people that are laying in the sand.
Yeah, there is parking on the west side of the traffic lane only,
Right.
and we do not allow people to lay in between the cars on the west side of the traffic lane. It's a danger. A car will go into pull in a parking area
Right.
and not see people until the last minute.
Right.
And also, it's better for you to be on the east side of the traffic
Sure.
lane. It's safer.
Sure. Now, you know, a lot of people go to the beach, they like to bring beverages. One of the things that we don't like them to do is to bring alcoholic beverages on the beach. They're not allowed.
Right. Alcohol on the beach is not allowed. It's not allowed in plastic containers or cans in any form.
And obviously, drinking and driving, whether you're on the beach or going to and from the beach, is absolutely something everyone shouldn't do, and it's a very big concern.
Yeah, it's a big concern, and that's why it's strictly enforced. Alcohol on the beach is not allowed, especially where they're driving, and people tend to drink and then go in the water, and that's very dangerous also.
Right. You know, gosh, I don't know how many times we've seen it. I know you've seen it thousands of times, where people will go to the beach. Perhaps they don't go to the beach on a regular basis. Perhaps they're from an area where the sun isn't as powerful. They come to our beach, they lay there for 2 or 3 hours, and all of a sudden they've got a terrible sunburn that ruins their vacation. So sun protection is very important.
It's extremely important. It's not like laying out up north, and especially when you're sweating and in the water, it's extremely important to reapply your sunblock probably every 15 minutes if you're out there in the elements.
Yeah, and you know, the sun care products that people should purchase, they list the SPF factor on it. What do you recommend as a minimum SPF?
I recommend at least 30.
Right.
Yes.
And as you just said, you know, apply that sunscreen frequently. A lot of the products will say, you know, they're waterproof and that sort of thing. But really, if you're going in the ocean particularly, reapply that sunscreen.
Absolutely, yes. It gets hot out there. People tend to sweat. People tend to get in and out of the water. And a lot of times they forget. And we do see that a lot.
You know, as you pointed out earlier in our discussion, there are several areas on the beach. In fact, I think there are more miles of no driving on the beach than there are miles where you can drive on the beach. And people with kids or people that really might want to relax, they should seek out a no-drive zone where there are plenty of off-beach parking areas.
Yeah, we do have about 18 miles of beach that is no driving. So, and we do have signs on our major approaches and roads telling you where the no driving areas are, and if you do have small children, that's an option you might want to think about.
Tammy, I know over the last several years the county has made a pretty concerted effort to increase the amount of information that's available, particularly public safety information. I know you have a very, very comprehensive beach app for people with smartphones that gives a great deal of information. Tell us about what's available with this app.
Absolutely. The app is it's great. You can get on the app. You can find out what towers are open or closed for the day, so you can determine where you're going to go if if you're going to be there for the day and you're going to go in the water. You can find out what approaches are open and closed due to high tides, And also environmental reasons will close the approaches at night because of the turtles. And you can find out the closest restrooms, off-beach parking areas. It gives you, it's a wealth of information, and it's a great thing to look into before you go to the beach.
Well, Tammy, I want to wish you and the folks on the beach, a really safe and great holiday weekend. I know you and your folks will be out there in full force, and so let's have a great time and be safe. Huh?
We're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Our guest today is Tammy Maris. She's a captain with the county's Beach Safety Ocean Rescue. And with that, we'll go back to you.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you too for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. Incidentally, you can find the County Council's meeting calendar there too. In fact, you can use volusia.org to find out about meeting dates, workshops, topics of interest, activities, and how you too can become involved. Here's an interesting program. Find out about backyard chicken tractors at 2 p.m. Saturday, September 7th at DeBerry Hall Historic Site. It's at 198 Sunrise Boulevard, and it'll be instructed by Riley Nutt, who is a local historian and art teacher. Chicken tractors are not really tractors. They're floorless, movable coops that allow chickens to free range and forage in an open shelter. Not only that, but we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today, Volusia County Government's weekly public radio program. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a wonderful evening.